You hear my voice, or is the music too loud? Good evening. Hoodmystic.com proudly presents to you Keeping It Conscious, Episode 8. We talk about the altar. Share this video and come right back to y'all. It's good. So today we're going to talk about the altar, basically discuss the ins and outs of altar work. If you don't have an altar and you wonder like why I should get an altar, what it represents, what it doesn't represent, throw a little tweaks in your brain to kind of have you look about the altar in a different way. Even if you do have an altar, just give you additional ideas to your altar, I guess, and give you a different thought perspective, additive. So this is like all encompassing for all of the people. So we're just gonna jump right into this, man. So the altar in like Christian lore, Christian mythology, is a place to make sacrifices to the gods. Now, in your right mind, when I first say that, something might jump into you like, like, whoa, like, make sacrifices, like, yeah, like, or a goat or whatever, but you're not examining the word correctly from its origin if you just automatically key into it. So like, let's just break it down, what we're actually doing with the altar in plain English first before we start to talk about other concepts, because when I start to talk about the altar, I want to speak from a clear perspective. So sacrifice is taken from the word sasir or sacre, and it's sacred. What is sacred? Sacred, the definition of sacred is an adjective, meaning it's describing something, and to be connected to the gods or connected to a particular motif. So in metaphysics, what we deal with is the science of ourselves, the science of becoming God ourselves. All you have to do is hit play. So from that point of view, as we deal with these things, we have to now flip our way of thinking, and we have to understand the word. So when you hear the word sacrifice, you can't just automatically key into, oh, I need to cut a goat open, or I need to cut a chicken. No, we're actually trying to make something sacred. And when we are trying to make something sacred, we are trying to connect it to a God. But we are not trying to connect it to a God outside of ourselves, or a particular Jesus, or a particular spooky spirit like, in the Dracula movies or anything like that. We are trying to connect it to the God particular within. So, and really understanding that particular concept first and foremost, then when you talk about an altar in your house, then this is a place for you to, one, connect with the God in yourself, and it is a place to make your objects and things of that nature sacred. Hold on 1 second. It should be working now. So, the reasons for making a sacrifice and the reasons for building an altar in your home is to create that portal between yourself and spiritual spiritual concepts and spiritual realms and spiritual thoughts, and to do your magic, to do your manifestations, to really connect to like deeper things. But you just don't do it haphazardly. You put particular thought and particular aspects around it. Like you just don't like just have a table, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and just feel like this is an altar and don't pay it no attention. No, this is a place where you actually do your work at. This is a place where you do science at. So we're going to look at the particular motif of the magician from the Rider-Waite tarot card to kind of give an idea of the symbolism of an altar and the concept of magic from a conscious point of view. So ultimately it is mind over matter, and then ultimately it is using the supernatural forces. And when we say supernatural, we mean the natural forces and the effort that we use. Like it's natural for us to walk, but supernatural would be like to run. So we naturally think on a particular level. Now we're putting effort into our thoughts and our mind to particular change our paradigm. So if you look at this particular tarot card, you see that there is 4 particular symbols on the table. So to a person just looking at it, it's just like a cup, a sword, a medallion, and some wood. But in magic, these are symbols. And so these symbols signify a particular element, because in all things they require these 4 elements. So magic is understanding this at a fundamental level. So wood representing the earth or the table. So the table generally should be wood to connect to the earth, and the earth representing manifestation. Now, I like to say, you may not have a wood table, you may have a Tupperware table, or you may have a windowsill, or you may have the back of a toilet, or you may have a prison cell. Like, it doesn't matter. Whatever you got, you can use. But ultimately know that wherever you're at is going to lead to more. This is all about expansion. Personally, like, I just started off with like a piece of paper. Like, I didn't have, like, you know what I'm saying, my first altar was a piece of paper in my mind. So you might be there, and it ain't no knock to you. But even on that piece of paper, you have to incorporate this idea of earth or wood. So in your mind, you can draw a wooden table. And so water representing purity, representing the emotions. So it could be a chalice, a cup, a bowl, like just something that represents the concept of receiving and reception. So the mental contemplation of water is a cup. That cup is waiting to be filled. So the symbology could be an empty cup and you waiting for your blessing, or the symbology could be a full cup and you already setting that intention to have that cup filled. Air, so you have your particular incenses or your particular resin. And so just really the contemplation around air is how spirit is just traveling free and just permeating through the air and permeating through the essence. Fire represented by a candle. I feel that a candle is essential to altar and altar work, because into magic, in general, fire, the principle of fire is the energy of setting the tone for anything that you want to bring into manifestation or fruition. And so we want to have a general understanding of energy, and we want to take our work seriously. So the altar is a place that we do our work. It is not a piece of furniture. It is not something to be stylish. Like, I've had altars where I had like mad candle wax, and it was just representing all of my work. And then now I have like more cleaner altars now because I'm expanding and I'm growing. We started off with, you know, I don't a small. We didn't start off with two. We had one. And we had like little rinky dink stuff because we was like in transition. We had like one Ganesha, I think, a Ganesha statue, and that's it. And that was probably like a year ago. We moved like last August, and we had one Ganesha statue. Now, like, this is not my first altar, but I'm gonna go into some different types of altars after this. But we literally had one Ganesha statue, and we just build around it. The following March, we went to New Orleans and got about like 6 Orishas. Then went back and got like 4 more. We got horses. We got like Japanese chanchu, like these, like crystal balls, books, our jewelry, our trinkets, you know, like our pictures, and then like you want to have an altar piece as well. An altar piece is like the picture that kind of empowers the altar. So at a particular point, we had Chauncey's mom, not mom, but great aunt behind there, our Veves, St. Paul, so just stuff that was personal. St. Peter, with the keys, because we was trying to open doors and working with our altar. We are expanding. It was like, okay, we got too much stuff, let's expand. And then, you know, the energy is real because the energy like looks at each other like, you know, we need more space, my guy, like it is too cramped up in here, so we'll just expand. So now it's to the point like everybody has their own space now because we are able to expand. Just purely working, like our lives are like 80% spiritual and like 20% like regular like stuff that we do. Yeah, and we're trying to get it to like 95%, but we still working. But it's mainly due to the altar work and consistent offerings, and we're not trying to work with and support deities outside of ourselves. We're trying to better and improve our spiritual lives. So generally our dreams are discussed, our visions are discussed, our experience are discussed and journal, and then we have these conversations with y'all on Facebook, and it just adds to our spiritual life being rich and predominantly spirit, because then we walk with kind of a aura of protection and an aura of goodwill and really an aura of enjoyment, because we are controlling our lives and we're not constantly seeking for things, and we work with ourselves a majority of the time and work with each other. So it's a beautiful build, understanding the energy, and the altar is the base to your spirituality. It is the gateway to your spirituality. So here we are on this physical realm, and we need access. We need a physical portal that is there to document our spiritual experiences. So the altar is that place. The coolest altar that I've ever seen was my cousin. He had a whole closet dedicated to an altar, and it had shelves. So his shelves were his figurines and his items and things of that nature. But then, like, you know how a closet is, you can literally go inside of it and shut the door. So if he wanted to meditate, he could meditate within his altar, and that shit was like dope. Like it was like an experience. Like he let me like meditate in there once, and I'm like, okay, like this is raw doggy. But you know how niggas is, they got too many clothes and too much bullshit to have like a isolated chamber where you could just have all of your spiritual stuff. Because like I said, it's not furniture, and this is not for people to look at and admire. So personally, I would never take a picture and show you niggas my altars. Like if you come over, then you would see them. But even that, you know what I'm saying, is like
You'll see what's in
Yeah, yeah, and there's altars all over the place, and it ain't for nobody else. It's just for my personal expansion and my personal, like, the things that we want to manifest, like our vision, like, like the trucks or the cars or the businesses, or when we got our business, we put our like certificate on the altar. When we get like gifts, when people give us money, we put that on the altar, like, you know what I'm saying, thank you. Like chains, rings, bracelets, like libation bottles, like, and we just really want to understand what an altar is. So an altar again is a table. So let's break that down one time. So if I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna put it all on the table right now, what is that actually saying, right?
Yeah.
It means that I am ready to fully commit to what I'm about to say. If I'm about to put it on the table, then I'm willing to expose my innermost thoughts, feelings in the tables. Like, I'm gonna be completely real with you at this point in time. So when we deal with our altar, we are putting our shit on the table. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real. You know what I'm saying? So people say you don't need an altar. Like, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with them. Like, like, I guess you don't need an altar. Like, you don't need to go outside. Like, you don't need to motherfucking walk. You don't need to work. You don't need money. You don't need to do anything. But I don't know no person that's committed to their spirituality and don't have an altar. Like, that's like going to a church and there not being a pew with it. Like, and even though, or a Bible or something that represents their religion, you know what I'm saying? A picture of Jesus. Like, you need spiritual like, if you denounce religion, then where is your symbology? Where is your strengthhold? Like, where is your candles at? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, them Catholic churches, why do Catholic churches keep candles lit 24/7? Like, you need that ambiance in your life to understand spirituality and how it's going to work for you, because how they rock it is working for them. The Porsche just bought a gold and white, well, somebody gave it to them, but a gold and white Lamborghini, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they good with how they doing it because they spiritual shit is set up. Now it's time for you to get your shit set up. And it's really set up through the 4 elements and really understanding the masculine and feminine aspects. So a lot of our setups is set up like male, feminine, like the boys got girls, like they married alchemically, like, and representing my personal life, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a spiritual, that's why we work with the altar together. Because say for instance you in a relationship and like you want to like be a certain type of way, especially women, where they want to kind of be connected. So like, I couldn't be in a relationship with a female and take it seriously if we not connected spiritually, like on a marriage side. Like, I want to, like, cause that's what women want. They want to be with somebody forever, right? So why not create those bonds that create those attachments? Like, because if you with somebody and you would feel like, oh, well, what if his spirit ain't right? That's just a reflection of your spirit all the time. So I know I'm 100% with the spirituality. So my girl has to be on the level, or else we wouldn't even know each other, because that's how water is. That's because we 70% water. So water always seeks its own level. When I was a do dirty, grimy ass nigga, them was the type of woman that I attract. So when they did do dirty, grimy ass shit, I could have been mad, or sometimes I was mad, but that shit was already in me anyways. You know what I'm saying? So you generally want to work, like, if you a person and you like got blood going through your veins, you want to be in a relationship with somebody, and like you doing this work, Like, you can't be with somebody. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, you can't fuck around like that. So it's like, if you want to get married and you want to have them type of long lasting relationships, then why not do spiritual shit first and foremost, and then let everything else work its way, trickle down from that, like making those commitments and making those bonds. So that's why we have the Shangos with the Oshuns, the Oguns with the Yemayas and things of that nature. Like, and we have the particular candles to go with whatever. And it's just like, it's like a real harmony situation that I got going on in my altar, because that's just how I'm rocking right now. Like, you might have it real chaos, mad candle wax, pictures everywhere. Like, our altar has been like that too, but I didn't like that manifestation. So I like the way that is, once we like, let's just clean our altar off, wipe everything down with Florida water. We experienced the shift of energy once we did that. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be talking about this type of stuff if it wasn't real and I wasn't experiencing it. So I know a lot of people just want to talk for the sake of talking, or, you know, just be beautiful on the screen, you know what I'm saying? Like, and not really say much, but understanding this altar work, like, really invest in that and just really just let go. I want to speak on one more particular thing. Well, two more things. I wanted to talk about the elements one more time, but one more thing I want to say. If you have a particular intention that is aligned with a negative emotion, then you will not receive positive results. So if you negative about your money but get into magic for money magic, then you gonna be in worse. You gonna be wanting money on a metaphysical. You gonna be metaphysically fucked, and that's a fuck that you don't want to experience. So if you want to do stuff that you normally don't have no need attached to it, like ancestor worship. Like, do something nice for an ancestor, just like out of the kindness of your heart. Like just silly stuff, like experiment, just let go, see what happens, just see what happens with this shit. Because if you have a particular need, like you really want a person, so you start this altar and you start like really doing love magic and burning red candles and putting y'all face together and all of this shit, guess what's gonna happen? You gonna get that shit. It is gonna be so wrong for you, cause it was, and you wanted it and you got it, but you didn't realize that free will is so much more beautiful than trying to control a nigga or control a woman, for that matter. Just kind of, if you do this shit right and with sincerity, then you gonna attract naturally the people that's supposed to be in your life, and you don't gotta worry. You know what I'm saying? But if you needy and scary, then you gonna be magically needy and magically scary. You just gonna be a magical, scary, needy motherfucker. Like, you understand what I'm trying to say? So, you know, the water represents just the feminine, passive. Like, you can't be always wanting shit all the time. You gotta receive stuff. So the water is just that aspect of your life where you receive and that you're accepting. The earth is the manifestation. So anything on your altar, like money, crystals, jewelry, any particular objects, them represent the earth. The fire is like if you want wands, because the wand is the actual modality. It's the physical modality between this world and the spiritual world. Like, it is, once, like, your hand is connected to the bottom of the wand, and as the energy travels through the wand, like it then disappears into the spirituality. That's the wand, if the contemplation, the magical contemplation on the science of the wand. So just anything to that effect. Candle, so air, like I said, incense, resin, if you got a cauldron, particular herbs that you may burn, all of that is really connected to the mental aspect, because understanding that the mind is God. So at the altar is where you really tap into the mind of the God and really tap into your higher self. This is a personal experience. This ain't no shit. Like, I really don't understand these niggas that be showing their altar on Facebook. I don't understand the science in that. Like, I don't get that shit. Because this work is so personal and it's so sensitive to my energy that why would I, absorbing into my work. So I just wanted to open the floor up for any questions, any thoughts, any concerns, any objections, anything that anybody got to say to the contrary, anything you need to add about altars that I may have left out.
Make it personal. Make it your own.
So that's a good one right there. Do this shit your own way. Don't go off nobody. Like, you let your imagination really just explore and explode, and just like whatever you want to put on there, like however you feel like you want to do it. Like, if you want to mix religions, if you want to have the Haitian Veves with, you know, the saints, or the Orishas with the Egyptian, with the Celtic, like however your style is, like really express yourself on a spiritual level, because it ain't no system that's bad, meaning no system that's taboo or fucked up, and it ain't no system that's good and supreme. You really gotta understand that concept. I don't give a shit what, like, I'll champion anything, and I'll motherfucking shit on anything too, because it's all bullshit and it's all amazing. The only thing that's important in this metaphysical game is you, and how you gonna freak it, and what style, like, you know what I'm saying, like what city you from, what street you from. Like, I bring my street into this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I bring everything into everything that I do. It don't matter what religion, don't matter what school of thought. If it resonates with me, I keep it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the altar should represent. If you want to do Hello Kitty altar, you know what I'm saying? Rock out with your cock out. Like, a whole Malcolm X altar, like, it's so, however, because the thing of it is, niggas, we got all of these particular concepts, and we don't get it out of our brains and out of our minds. So even if it's sinister, even if it's wild, even if it hurts you, even if it bothers you, like, really get that shit out of you and onto the altar. And then when you're tired of looking at it, take it off, put some more shit on there. But really, it's a spiritual creativity workstation. And it's a place where you can do magic at. It can be something that you stand up and do. It could be something that you sit down and have. It could be a desk. It could be a table. I don't know, man. It's just, it's vast, but it's very specific. And a lot of niggas is just particularly, you know what I'm saying, talking all this magic shit, but won't never even explain what an altar is, or like, I'm completely befuddled by these niggas and what they talking about now. So it's important for people to really get this conscious information, because that's the only thing that's going to save you. I don't give a shit. Your mind is the only thing that's going to save you, and your mind over the matter. See how, like, right, like, how could you defeat this thing like on the matter level. Like how? You know who you are, you know what you've been doing, you know, like it's just you out here. You can't really depend on nobody for shit. So the only thing that I could do, like as a regular person, like I'm not no councilman or no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the solution is this magic and this consciousness and really understanding like yourself. Like I feel as though you are the key to your own, like you are the key and you the lock. You know what I'm saying? And the altar is like really key to really tapping into that modality, man. It's a beautiful thing. But if it isn't any questions, any thoughts, I don't know. I enjoyed the build. I enjoyed the setup, but we're going to keep doing it like this. Keeping it conscious. Episode 8, the importance of an altar. I appreciate everybody who took the time out to listen. Everybody have a wonderful night.